Shimkus for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I rise today to continue to thank my staff for excellent service to the constituents of my district and sometimes to those even outside my district. In our organization, caseworkers live and work in Illinois. They work out of my district offices, which I have historically spread out throughout my large, mainly rural district. During this Congress, my offices have been in Maryville, Effingham, Harrisburg, and Danville. My caseworkers are my representative to that region. They also welcome visitors and forward legislative concerns to my legislative assistants, but their primary job is that of casework. What is a case? A case is a concern, request, or correction by my constituents who feel that they are not receiving due benefits or having trouble just getting answers from the federal government. Our job is to get them an answer. I was always careful to never promise that I could solve their problem. I only promised that we would try. My caseworkers did all the work. At this point in the record, Mr. Speaker, I'd like to submit this list of caseworkers at this point in the record.
Without objection.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Over the years, my office has been able to assist literally thousands of people with their problems with the federal government. Here are just a few examples of things they've been able to accomplish. One of my constituents was born in Mississippi in the 1930s at a home with a midwife. In her 70s, she tried to get a passport for a once-in-a-lifetime trip to Spain, but her birth was never recorded, and her parents were deceased. My office assisted her in obtaining school records, baptismal certificates, marriage license, children's birth certificates, and certified letters from old friends. These documents, combined with a census search showing her living with her grandmother in Mississippi in the 1940s, finally was ample information for her to obtain a passport. I've been able to present medals to deserving veterans across my district. Often the veterans do not want to talk about their experience, but the awards are important to their children and their grandchildren. One of these veterans was the uncle of my Veterans Affairs caseworker, Doug Buger. Another is a veteran from Robinson, Illinois, who had been shot and taken prisoner by the Germans during the Battle of the Bulge. After receiving the awards, he gave an interview to the Robinson Daily News and used a photograph of him with his medals, including his Purple Heart. Helping in recovery of these military awards helped these veterans relay their experiences to family and friends. Social Security disability is a long and frustrating process. One gentleman had been approved but had waited nearly a year for his back pay when he came to my Harrisburg office. It turned out it was coded incorrectly in the Social Security system, and within 2 weeks, my office got the situation corrected and received his back pay. Some of our happiest casework is to help families with overseas adoptions, like the family that was in the process of adopting a child from Haiti just as the pandemic was shutting everything down. My office was able to work with the embassy to get child humanitarian parole to come to the United States of America. Mr. Speaker, I could go on and on like most offices could, talking about the work that their caseworkers do. We don't have time to do that, so I ask at this time, Mr. Speaker, unanimously submit these additional stories into the record.
Objection.
So, Mr. Speaker, some cases resolve quickly. Many cases take months and even years to resolve. My caseworkers always showed compassion and concern to my constituents. They answered their calls, they returned their calls, and for that, I say thanks. I'm very proud of the service that they've given to the people of Southern Illinois. With that, Mr. Speaker, I yield back the balance of my time.